Let's move on to Hanukkah, a celebration exclusively for Jews, a celebration that also was a manufactured newcomer.
In fact, we have very little evidence that many Jews celebrated Hanukkah at all in the 19th century. People who were concerned about Jewish children made Hanukkah important for other reasons. They were concerned that Jewish children not feel neglected during the Christmas season. And so they did an entirely different thing with Hanukkah. They made parties for children. They made special events for children. They made sure children got presents. They decorated their homes. They really focused on children.
It's hard to be a Jew on Christmas.
In the 1860s, Rabbi Max Lilienthal noticed that too many Jews were enjoying Christmas customs. He also noticed how it made kids interested in their culture. That's when the idea of Hanukkah came, borrowing Yule concepts. But it didn't really catch on until Henrietta Zold, a major Zionist leader, also believed that Hanukkah celebrations needed to be reshaped in line with Christmas ones. As time went on, it wasn't until the 1930s and 40s when it started becoming a thing. So what do they base this holiday of Jewish identity on? Jews admit that they've borrowed from every culture they've come in contact with. Remember, they've been nomadic people going from place to place. One culture Jews borrowed from more than any other is from ancient Greece. The Talmud says that the only language the Torah could be properly translated into is Greek. If we look at Jewish expulsion, Jews were expelled from over 109 countries. You know, if you've dated 109 guys and they've all dumped you, eventually you need to look at yourself as the problem. That's not what Jews did. While in a host country, they stirred up trouble by rebelling against the local culture, plotting division where people had a culture. That's exactly what they did during the Seleucid Empire, a major center of Hellenistic culture that maintained Greek customs. Jews bitterly resented pagan Greeks and thought their culture was a crime against Yahweh. They were loud about it. Although Syrian Greeks were tolerant of many gods and left the Jews alone, the Jews began pushing monotheism and Yahweh as supreme. Remember, the Greeks are the ones to come up with the idea of a city-state. So throughout the Hellenistic world, the Jews had communities and enjoyed autonomy. In 176 BCE, a new guy, Antiochus, took the throne, and he wasn't tolerant of Jewish rebellion and conspiracies like his father. And so he outlawed the Sabbath and circumcision and erected an altar of Zeus in a Jewish temple. Then the Maccabee family planned a revolt. Hanukkah is about the celebration of these Jews who rebelled against Hellenistic culture while living among them as a minority. They slaughtered Syrian Greeks in a bloodbath, even some of their own who assimilated into Greek culture. Many Jews feel this massacre saved them from paganism. Hanukkah is an extremely anti-Greek and pagan-phobic celebration of Jewish military victory and massacre of pro-Greeks. Its roots are in murder and blood. It's known as the Maccabean Revolt, usually dated at 167 BCE. Funny then that Jews are the biggest advocates of multiculturalism to the West today, but not for Israel. They refuse to assimilate, but Jewish leaders today say Europe must become multicultural. What if an Odinist went to Israel in the same way the Jews were attracted to Antioch, which later became part of the Seleucid Empire, and began building temples to Odin everywhere, disrespecting Yahweh, pushing for Jews to honor Odin? What if they then massacred those not accepting or converting, and then concocted a holiday to celebrate their victory and bloodshed? Even killing their own who converted to Judaism. Well, that's what Hanukkah is celebrating. Hanukkah is a total ripoff from Christmas, pagan Yule. Jews decorate a bush, use lights, ornaments, centerpieces. They have candles and presents, chocolate, and they even copy our stockings idea. All they've done is place their symbols on our traditions. The only thing they didn't copy was the ham. We're told the original miracle menorah had 7 branches, but for Hanukkah they use 9 branches. 9 is an important number in ancient Norse myth, which we'll talk about later. This 9th branch is called Shamash, which means the attendant. It's used to light the other candles because it's forbidden to use the actual Hanukkah candles to light the menorah. So it's like the Shabbos Goy, the non-Jew who serves Jews during the Sabbath when they can't lift a finger. It's no coincidence, then, that Shamash also happens to be a Mesopotamian pagan sun god. The Jews follow a lunar calendar. They are not solar people. This ninth branch symbolizes the non-Jew pagan who follows the sun, who they see as a conquered servant. Further, it's no coincidence that Hanukkah falls near the winter solstice, a sacred time for pagans. Jews claim the revolt was in Kislev, our December, but there's no proof for that. The Jews took an important pagan solstice celebration and supplanted Hanukkah, their festival of lights, to mark victory over Greek pagans. Jews follow a lunar calendar, so Hanukkah is nothing about the solstice. It's about redirecting the energy of the pagan temple to Jews and Yahweh. The word Hanukkah comes from the Hebrew word for dedication or consecration, so their purification is a pagan's defilement. Hanukkah is based on religious intolerance. Yet why is it that every year a giant menorah is erected in front of the White House to symbolize this massacre? The White House even has an annual Hanukkah party.
Well, welcome to the White House and happy Hanukkah.
With all the schmutz in the world, can you believe that we are here with the President of the United States and the President of Israel celebrating Hanukkah in the White House? I stand here like the Maccabees of old who defied the culture of their time that said that destiny could not be changed, and instead they jumped in to write a new story that demanded freedom and equal opportunity for all.
Only Judaism, a religion that represents 2% of America's population. This tiny minority is consecrating the temple and asserting Yahweh's supremacy once again. Rabbis will say, oh, Hanukkah is just something so the Jews don't feel left out around Christmas. But considering their past relationship with paganism and Yule being a pagan celebration, this is no coincidence. Is it also a coincidence that Jewish organizations have worked hard to change Christmas to Happy Holidays, ending the religious references? Even though Jesus is a Jew, behind the true Christmas story lies an important key to our past, which we'll get into last. Although the Bible is full of Jews, most Jews are repulsed by Jesus in the New Testament, hence the Christian bashing. Huge topic with many angles, but in short, Jews reject Jesus as their Messiah.
Everybody blames the Jews for killing Christ. I don't care. Good. I hope the Jews did kill Christ. I'd do it again. I'd fucking do it again in a second.
The Abrahamic religions are newcomers who have borrowed elements from older myths, or they just flat out wrote new stories representing their people. And we know the Jews are elaborate storytellers, like the story of the menorah, their oldest symbol. The story goes, after the Maccabees reclaimed the temple, they found a small amount of oil for lighting the menorah, enough for just one day. Miraculously, it lasted 8 days. The number 8 is important to Jews, symbolizing their covenant to Yahweh, which is about snipping the penises of their babies when they are 8 days old.
Who are all these people? A rabbi brought them. Apparently you need 10 Jews to watch him lose his dickhead or it's not official.
That's it.
Seth Rogen, who is Jewish, just made a Christmas movie where he wore a Star of David on what looks like a classic Christmas sweater. I haven't seen the movie, but I did see the trailer.
We're going to the best Christmas party in New York City. So that gives us several hours to hit as many traditions as possible.
How fucked up are you right now?
Hallelujah!
Not that kind of church.
No. Who's that guy?
What guy?
On the cross.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Is that what they think we did to him?
Yeah.
Can they tell I'm Jewish?
Yes.
How?
Your fucking sweater. Don't you dare throw up in here. Swallow it like a girl would.
I need a barf bag.
Barf bag. Is it still happening?
We did not kill Jesus! We did not do that!
Him throwing up in the church is a good analogy of how most Jews feel about Christianity, and by extension, its followers. and they're very loud about it. But as I will talk about later, it's not Jesus that evokes these emotions, but the true Christmas story behind the facade.
I'm banished from Christmas Town.
Impossible. Our people have contributed to Christmas for years.
Our people?
Murray Lefkowitz, at your service.
A Jewish Santa.
Who else would work on Christmas? And you are?
Ira Finkelstein. But don't tell anyone. I'm incognito.
Ira, you know the song White Christmas?
Of course, I love that movie.
A Christmas classic, yes. Written by a Jewish writer, directed by a Jewish director, and the songs courtesy of the great Irving Berlin, also a member of the tribe.
No way.
Let It Snow, written by Sammy Kahn and Julie Stein, Jew 1 and Jew 2. Silver Bells, Winter Wonderland, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. We're batting 1,000. Go ahead, try one.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Funny you should say that. Johnny Marks, Jewish. He also wrote Rockin' Round the Christmas Tree and Have a Holly Jolly Christmas.
That's crazy.
Is it?
All these Christmas songs Jews write are a distraction from the real celebration. In the end, the menorah candles are about keeping the fire lit to Yahweh and extinguishing the fire of those dark pagans. Desert people do not have fire-burning winter festivals. This is about conquest, marking a victory over non-Jewish Europeans and their revulsion against us. We are lied to that Hanukkah is a holiday of religious or cultural tolerance. In reality, it's about Jewish culture being supreme. Next year, try and erect a giant sun wheel or sun cross next to the menorah at the White House. See how that works out for you. Jews refused to assimilate into ancient Greek culture, but now they're forcing non-Jews to assimilate into Jewish culture and values, calling you an anti-Semite if you reject their ways. How is putting up a menorah in front of the White House and fighting to remove manger scenes and crosses different from Antiochus erecting a Zeus statue in a Jewish temple? This time, there's going to be a Maccabean Gentile revolt. No one is calling them out for doing the exact same thing that they claim was done to them.